So this is just me talking to you honestly as another human being, not necessarily as your teacher. Because whatever, you're starting the part of your life where you're going to be standardized tested, like you're going to be standardized tested within an inch of your life, right? You're going to have all these tests you have to do this year, next year, ACT, go on to college. There's like one for graduate school or various professional schools. They're not all the same, and they are of varying, degrees of difficulty and quality and all that. But there are some strategies that work on all of them, and I am here to make sure you know those strategies. Okay, number one is don't worry about the really, really, really hard questions. Standardized testing is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Their job is to tell schools who's better, right? Their job is to tell schools how the kids stack up against each other. They can't do that if a bunch of people get a perfect score. They need the hard questions to separate out that one kid from the rest of the kids. You don't have to be that one kid, right? You just got to get enough to do a decent job on this test. So don't let hard questions scare you. There's also always field test questions on these tests. Not so much with ACT and stuff like that. But on these tests, when you see a question that is clearly unfair or wrong, it's because it's a lousy question and they're probably going to throw it out, which is good news for you, but you still got to try and get it right. And if you see the mistake, sometimes you see the mistake and you're like, I know what the right answer is, but they're asking it wrong. Give them the right answer, and you got a better shot of getting the score. So field test questions happen in the Ohio tests. That's what a lot of your practice test stuff is, the released items that they decided to throw out, which is why some of the questions on our practice tests were lousy. Another thing to know about standardized testing, part of the standardization is they raise or lower the score you need to pass based on how everybody else in Ohio does, right? So if it's a super hard test, that's almost good news. It means the score you need to pass it will be lower, and you'll have an advantage because you're not going to get spooked by hard questions. The only strategy I know physically that works every time and is something you should definitely use is the strategy of not spending too much time on hard ones until the end of the test. Basically, the strategy of marking, and they even have a system in the computer for you to mark, to flag questions to come back to. You should use that. You shouldn't spend 10 minutes on that one question that's really, really hard until the very end when you know you have that 10 minutes. Spending your time initially on the ones that are easier means you maximize your score, right? You're going to get points for the ones that you almost definitely going to get points for, and you're saving the ones you might not get points for the end when you might run out of time. So that's a really good strategy. You should always use it. I don't even know if you are ever going to take a test where it's not to your advantage to answer everything. They do exist. There are tests where they penalize you more for wrong answers than for not answering something, but mostly they've phased those tests out. Answer every single question, regardless of, if you run out of time at the end and you absolutely just can't read the questions that you have left, just randomly answer them. I mean, I'm not saying randomly answer them when you do have time, but if you run out of time, you have a better shot of getting points if every question is answered. And it's important to note that a lot of those drag and drop, they love drag and drop questions these days. A lot of those, if you don't know it, at least, answer it wrong. Like, I know I got this wrong. Answer it anyway, because a lot of times you get 1 of 2 points for just having the one thing, and it's maybe the easiest part of it placed correctly. Drag everything into a place, and you got a good shot of getting points. If there are essays, and this goes for any type of test, if you got a free response question, don't repeat the question in your answer. Don't BS like you would on an English paper. It's grumpy retired people grading those written responses. They don't want any nonsense, right? They're looking for what they're looking for.
Aren't you also usually supposed to not use outside prior knowledge? I feel like I heard that somewhere too.
respond and say, basically for the essay, someone like knew about the subject, so they put more information than what was on there, and they ended up failing it.
Yeah, it's basically just don't make them read a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant, right? And yeah, showing off probably irritates graders. I mean, if you know stuff about it, that's great. But don't put a bunch of extra things that aren't answering the question just to show off, right? But that's less important than like, don't do all those space fillers you would normally do in a paper, right? And you know, bullet points are great. They love bullet points. I love bullet points when I have to grade stuff. And you know, that doesn't mean to skimp. You should write everything you know about the question, right? That helps answer the question. Because a lot of times they're looking for 5 things. They don't care about the stuff around it that isn't right. They're looking for their 5 things. They're going to give you 5 points. Right? So if you have stuff, yeah, I know there's like 7 things, but I bet only like 4 of them are right. Write all 7.
On like the spelling of the song.
Not.
I know on
Not.
English.
As long as they know what word it is, it's fine. They don't care about misspelling.
Biology words are not the easiest words to spell.
True. Yeah, and they generally will not penalize you for that. Winding up the list here, stay calm, don't panic. Fear is fine. Fear is a powerful motivator. I use fear all the time to get things done, right? In my life, like I'm better if I'm scared of a deadline. But, you know, let it keep you focused. Let it make sure that you get the whole test done, but don't let it overwhelm you and freak you out. This is just a test. You can get points on this test enough to pass it. Possibly really nail it. Just stay calm. And I'm being honest when I say I've taken a lot of standardized tests. I have felt stupid in every single one of them. Coming out of it, I've thought, I really don't know anything, do I? Except for the teacher, state teacher exam. That one was easy, the bio part of it. But other than that, like ACT, MCAT, GRE, I've taken them all, and I felt stupid coming out, and I did well on all of them. Okay, so don't let how you feel coming out or how you feel in the middle of it worry you. It should worry you. There's questions on there you don't know, and that's scary. But don't panic. Don't freak out. You're ready for them. You just are. Like you've been in my class all year. You are ready for this. Okay. End of pep talk. Tuesday, I'll cover the backside, which is stuff that's often on EOC tests that they're kind of trying to trick you with, or that students get wrong a lot. We'll address those on Tuesday. I think I want to stop there.